Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Monday. Okay, guys, so we have a lot to talk about. Welcome back to Up and Adam Channel 2, where you get all of the extra coverage, and that's exactly what we're bringing you, especially today. Um, there's a lot to discuss. This Rachel Goes Rogue podcast, well, she's not holding back on a lot of the stuff, and I think that it's going to be really good. So, we're going to break into it. Just make sure that you stick around to the end until the end because I want you guys to be able to pretty much just enter into this contest to win our free blue meme. I'm sitting here thinking about it because I'm thinking about like the next giveaways and I'm like we're trying to get to 1,000 ratings on our podcast just to be like frank with you. We're at 850. Once we give away this, our blue meme, my favorite skincare product, for every 250 ratings after that, we're giving away something bigger and better. I'm giving away a trip. I'm giving away a lot of things. And I just want you guys to be prepared for it because we're going to promote the hell out of this podcast. Okay. With that, smash your like button. Show some love. Let's get right into it.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Okay, guys. So I don't know how much you remember of the Rachel and Peter situation. I honestly thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was cringy. Peter's a nice guy. I think that he's bad television. I don't think that he's great on the show. I think that he's very full of himself. I think that his ego is through the fucking roof. And the only reason I say that is because I worked for him at Sir. It's really odd. You know, he does have a huge ego. And I can say that because I was around it for a long time. And I'm sure not much has changed. He was a full grown adult at that time. The show really got to his head, and he was one of the most boring cast members on the show. But they tried using him, according to Rachel, on the same show, Vanderpump Rules, as somebody who might be a love interest of Rachel's. Wait a minute. Let's break into this. So, Rachel detailed how production convinced her to date Peter Madrigal on camera. She accused the production team of Vanderpump Rules of convincing her to date Peter on camera after she said that she didn't want to. Okay. She shared her side of the story on her podcast and yeah, listen to this really quick. The season started filming and I didn't have the Miss California storyline that I wanted to have. The producers approached me saying, "We want you to go on a date with Peter." I said, "No, I don't want to go on a date with Peter. I already went on a date with Peter and it ended terribly. So I don't see anything going forward there." And they said, "Well, that happened off camera and people know about it. And we want to cover all the things because it's reality. So we're setting you up on a date with Peter. You don't have to date him long. You just have to go on this date." And I was like, I really don't want to. And I talked to other people about it and said that I didn't want to. But then I felt like I didn't really have a storyline for the season besides being single. And then, of course, like when you're single, you're supposed to date. I feel a little bit obligated to go on this date. Okay. Now, fake date. When I got there, I told them, all right, I'm going to go on this date, but I'm going to like end it with him on this date. I don't want to lead him on. And they said, no, you can't do that. You have to wait a week at least. Just hang out. Don't take it seriously. And I demanded the date was during the daytime. I was like, we are not doing a nighttime date. We are not doing a dinner date. Nothing like that. It has to be during the day. So at least they compromised with that. So, of course, on this date, I was crying to him once again. And I knew I didn't see a future with him, but I was taking direction from production to not break up with him. Well, this is pretty interesting, but we're going to take it from Rachel herself, especially because what a weird fucking situation to have to be put through. Going on a date, I'm not blasting. You know what? I'm going to shut the hell up is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to share the audio clip with you guys. Here we go.
Season started filming and I didn't have the Miss California storyline that I wanted to have. The producers approached me saying, "We want you to go on a date with Peter." And I said, no, I don't want to go on a date with Peter. I already went on a date with Peter and it ended up terribly. And I don't see anything going forward there. And they said, well, that happened off camera and people know about it. And we want to cover all things because it's reality. And so we are setting you up for a date with Peter. And, you don't have to date him for long. You just have to go on this date. And I was like, I
Okay.
really don't want to. And I talked to other people about it and I said that I didn't want to. But then I also felt like I didn't really have a storyline for this season besides being single. And then, of course, like when you're single, you're supposed to date. So I was like, well, I feel a little bit obligated to go on this date. And so when I got there, I told them, like, all right, I'm going on this date, but I'm going to like end it with him on this date. Like, I don't want to lead him on. And they said, no, you can't do that. You have to wait a week at least. And so just hang out, like don't take it so seriously. I demanded that the date was during the daytime. I was like,
Mm.
we are not doing a nighttime date. We are not doing a dinner date, nothing like that. It has to be during the day. So at least they compromised with that. But of course, on this date, I was crying to him once again. And I knew that I didn't see a future with him, but I was taking direction from production to, not quote unquote break up with him until later on. And so that's a long story.
Okay, wait. It keeps going.
Yeah, Sandoval encouraged that. He encouraged those interactions between Schwartz and I. And I also remember like filming at Sir when Sandoval and Schwartz were there, and they were like, "Oh, come sit down." And I'm in my waitressing uniform, and I'm like, you could just see my face. I know it because a part of me is like super uncomfortable with like knowing the actual truth and knowing that like, oh, I'm just innocently sitting in the middle of both of the Toms. But in reality, it was like clearly all three of us knew what was going on. And we all three got close. We got closer together because Schwartz's apartment became a safe place for Sandoval and I to meet up. And I don't want people to necessarily go after Schwartz because I felt like Sandoval put him in a bad position where he didn't have a say. And I know that he tried to set boundaries with Sandoval and not having me there and really encouraging him to break up with Ariana and just come clean. But Sandoval didn't, and he didn't respect his boundaries. And he like reassured me that it was fine that I was there. So I think people suspected that Schwartz knew, and I don't see why it's a bigger deal that he did know because Sandoval, well, because, okay, maybe I do, because it really breaks the fourth wall of we're playing a role here. We are
Right.
partially acting on this show. And the main goal is to not break that fourth wall. And Sandoval, I think he wanted to make.
This whole thing is an absolute shit show. What I can say is, after going to the Vanderpump Rules season 11 premiere, it was such a good premiere episode. I think that it was absolutely fantastic. And I hope it's nothing like this. I really do. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think. How much of Rachel goes rogue? That's my question, is how much of Rachel goes rogue do you actually believe? Because, well, I think that's a really good question. There's three sides to every story: her side, their side, and somewhere in between, the truth. All you have to do is go anywhere you get your podcast, click on Up and Adam Live, and then scroll down right here where you can drop a rating. Click on a 5-star rating and let us know, do you believe Rachel or do you not? Are you even listening to her podcast or are you not? Answer any of the questions. And then that is your chance to win a free Blue Mean, which is worth $150, but it is how I keep my skin as great as I keep it for now. So I love you guys. We'll see you next time, and bye.